Greetings, Taekwondo family, and welcome to Miami Minutes, the show that is going to incorporate board breaking into the episodes from now on. I am one of your hosts, Chief Board Breaker, possibly, John Parker.
And here, sneaking up behind John with a board to crack over your head, it's me.
I'd be up for that. You know, when I was a teenager, me and my friends used to play wrestle. And obviously we didn't have steel chairs, so we would use the lids off chocolate tins, you know, like Roses and Quality Street. You use that as a chair, bang!
That's not. So I think it's relatively safer. So
yeah, and it makes a good noise.
Yeah, but I'm so excited about this, man, because I feel frustrated for people who know the film properly, who know literally every second, because we've been does any of the toe action happen anytime soon? And then we went to make my notes for this week, and I was like, holy Christ, here it is! We are at the dawn of Taekwondo. It's
Taekwondo! Oh fuck!
It's happening here, and it's now, baby.
The future has arrived. I've seen the future, and it works.
Yep. But it only works for Grandmaster Kim. He's the only person I've ever seen doing it. I don't know if he copyrighted the move or something.
Yeah, you have to pay him if you do it. In real life, not even in film.
He's like, but it'll be so popular, it won't matter. Everyone will still be doing it somehow. And then I was like, no, you're so... Speaking of Prince... YK Kim, the only man more litigious than Prince. He's got that toe move under lock and key.
And I do not blame him, because it is something to behold.
Yeah. Well, behold with your toes, I'll tell you.
Behold the note. No, it's not going to rhyme. We'll get there. This is minute 40. The minute starts with more martial arts mayhem, and it ends by chilling with a cool, refreshing Pepsi. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Well, just gonna see. Maybe he was angling for a deal too. Who would happen? All the major Pepsi sponsorships. Where I know Michael Jackson got set on fire that time.
Oh God, yeah, holy shit, yeah.
I remember
People
Britney
say that contributed a lot to his demise.
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly around the time of the beginning of the this is getting weird kind of era of Michael Jackson, where it was he was a cute kid morphed into cool young adult. Around the 80s, it starts going
Once he set on fire.
This never quite worked out. That fried his brain, probably.
Maybe. Apparently he had a lot of image problems afterwards, because we're laughing, but it's terrible. Because he was scarred and stuff for at least a long while. I don't know forever. But.
Oh, totally. It was that's how I give their thing too, because was Elvira apparently is really badly scarred as well. But you never I'm always weirded out when she says that, because you look at her, you can't see any of it. But she's it's over 80% of her body or something is scarred. It's that's Elvira has willingly shown a lot of her body. So, where is it?
We see her face, her boobs, and her legs, and they're all fine.
Yeah. I also got weirded out, though, because I started watching the beginning of last night. It's a thing you'll appreciate, John. I'm surprised I'll be surprised if you haven't heard of it yourself. I was watching a movie called All About Evil.
Oh, yeah.
With starring one Natasha Lyonne. And of course directed by Peaches Christ and featuring Peaches Christ.
I almost had them on my Hedvig show, but then they got a bunch of gigs. So it's oh fuck's sake.
But great, a lot of fun movie. But it's got Thomas Dekker in it. Thomas Dekker to me is the young Nick Zielinski from the Honey I Shrunk the Kids TV show. He was John Connor in that Sarah Chronicles.
I actually liked that show. I know it shouldn't exist like all Terminator sequels after 2, but it was certainly better than 3, Salvation, and what's the other one? Genesis.
Yeah, it was out. It's a niche reference, but I always have to do it in the Genesis from the guy from Star Trek 3. But yeah, he's in it, and his mom is played by Cassandra Peterson, who Elvira herself. And there's a bit where she comes in to check on her, and her son's got a proper sexy picture of Elvira up behind his bed. And it's just I'm sure, Peaches Christ, I'm sure it's a deliberate kind of it's trying to make you think about something kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's just inherently like, so I know who that is. Like, they tell me the kid's got like a wank bank picture of his own, basically his mum, right above his bed. It's like,
yeah, but you got to put it in the context of the world of the movie. It's like,
of course.
It's two separate people.
But it's just like, you know what they're doing. They're making you think of it deliberately. It's just
Peaches Christ will make you think of that. She don't care.
Yeah, but she probably, I'm sure her and Cassandra Peterson both thought it was hilarious. So
definitely. I love Peaches Christ. I saw a live production that she put on. Drag Becomes Her. It was Death Becomes Her, done as a drag stage musical that just took the absolute piss. It was great.
Yeah. But let's looked up here a brief. I don't know. We'll leave this for the end of the minute because I just, out of curiosity, there looked up who all the Pepsi spokespeople were beyond Michael Jackson. I totally forgot that. Yeah, Joan Crawford was the first one because she was married into the company.
Holy shit! I had no idea.
Yeah, the PepsiCo president was one of her husbands. It's in that show Feud. The thing about her feud with Betty Davis. I remember at the end they kept talking about PepsiCo a lot, and I was like, what? And then I looked into it, I was like, no, she was like, Joan Crawford like pushed Pepsi because it was like, it's my husband's product, so.
I mean, fair enough, Might as well use your celebrity to help your husband.
Yeah. The 60s, Joni Summers. Don't know who that is. Then, 83, Michael Jackson. Then, Cheyenne. That's a way to date your sponsorship right there. Jeez,
that is quite different to a Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Ray Charles.
What?
After that, yeah. Then, of course, one we should have known, because it was part of the whole Generation Next segment of the Pepsi experience, was the Spice Girls. Of course, both of us, growing up in a sort of UK-adjacent countries, it's just like, well, you were. I'm sure even America was inundated with the Spice Girls, but like I specifically remember them being in Pepsi ads and stuff.
I remember that vividly. I think both because the Spice Girls were everywhere and because I was always a Pepsi kid.
Just Mr. Contention over here.
I don't know what it was. Pepsi seemed cooler. We'll get to it more as we go on. Pepsi seemed like the cool brand.
It does, because it still has that, like, it's the choice of a new generation. It always strikes me as so much of an 80s drink.
Oh, yeah, totally. That is, in fact, a note I have later on.
Yeah.
Pepsi is the drink of the 80s/early 90s. That's what I
thought. Yeah. It always seems like Coke's kind of ever present, but Coca-Cola, I'll be like, oh, look, 50s onwards. But Pepsi's really like, nope, this is it. It was just weird, though, considering friggin' like Joan Crawford was one of the big wigs on it. It was clearly dates back to the 60s and 70s at least.
Yeah,
but
it's been around not much less time than Coca-Cola, I don't think. But I don't know, it just seemed to have a big, massive push in the 80s, didn't it?
Yeah. I think probably a lot of teen movies just featured it. I think that was one of those things like Valley Girl and things like that. Probably have people sucking Pepsi through straws on screen a lot and stuff like that. But
I wonder if it was because it was cheaper.
I don't know. Was it cheaper?
Well, if it's less popular at the time, it's a not as big a drink as Coca-Cola. Surely it would be a cheaper deal to strike.
Well, I thought it was assumed they're like, no, we cost the exact same because we're as good as Coke on every goddamn level. So why would we charge less?
There you go. I've actually got dates for you, by the way.
There we go.
Coke was invented in 1886. Pepsi, 1898.
Whoa! That goes back a lot further than I thought.
Yeah, that's wild. And
you think people back in like the 1910s were like being snooty to people drinking Pepsi because like.
I doubt it. I'm pretty sure it was just. You used to get it at a pharmacy. That was where they sold it, at pharmacies, because it was like medicinal. It gives you pep. I think it was the idea, wasn't it?
But then it's so close to Pepto-Bismol that you're like, how healthy is it? Or not so much healthy, how much of it just is this the thing that I'm supposed to have when I'm sick?
Well, exactly. But I think one of the main reasons I liked it as well is just the general cool vibe, and contributing to that is, of course, it's in Back to the Future.
Of course, yeah. I think like even then beyond in the spokespeople, Britney Spears, of course, and I always remember they did like a big it was like a big deal advert where they had like I think it was just after like Gladiator came out, and they had Britney Spears in a Coliseum.
Yes.
And Beyonce, Enrique Iglesias, and Pink, I think, are all there.
That's it. I remember that. Holy shit.
Yeah. Or it might have been actually around A Knight's Tale. It might have been even a tie-in to A Knight's Tale because they were singing "We Will Rock You," and I always remember it distinctly because Britney had to put her little spin on it because everyone else was "We will rock you," but she had to be "We will rock you." Had to do the little Britney vocal. Well, things take a turn then, because in 2005, Christina Aguilera takes over. So Christina Aguilera, the Pepsi to Britney Spears' Coke in many people's eyes. So how ironic, I guess.
And Christina even more did the...
Oh, yeah. We will rock you. But that's right then too, yeah, because they had a whole thing with the Kendall Jenner ad a couple of years back as well. I keep wanting to think it was her putting like a flower in a cop's gun or something, wasn't it? Or...
That definitely happened in one of them. Yeah, like the hippies used to do.
I think that maybe I'm mixing it up because I think there's a famous photo there in the '60s of like an on-campus protest, and it's like a hippie girl putting a flower in like the barrel of a gun, and I believe it's a reference the Kendall Jenner ad, but it's just her like handing a Pepsi to riot police or something. And I remember it got a lot of crap.
Oh yeah.
People were just like, we can all just get along with Pepsi, right? It's like, the institutional problems that are under protest at the moment won't be solved by Pepsi. Okay?
Hey, how do you know? Have you tried?
You boil it, you drink it when you're sick. That's also, again, the Pepsi has that cool factor, also kind of a lame factor, because I also always think of that Simpsons, where Lisa's getting ready to go to like a dance, and then Marge comes in with like, I made you some homemade Pepsi.
Oh yeah.
It's just like big bottles of some black tar or something that she put.
I don't even know how you would make it yourself. It's such a strange thing. Did you go and get cola nuts?
I'm assuming it could just be like, why you would even call it home? Maybe that's her
do you
attempt.
mean like SodaStream?
No, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say it's probably she's homemade some form of cola, and then has decided to call it homemade Pepsi. But like, it could be like, it doesn't taste anything like Pepsi. I'm assuming it tastes like homemade crap, but like Rola Cola or the stuff you buy at the pound shop kind of thing. But
yeah, I always liked over here the Panda Pops, the cola that they.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that was nice. I don't know what American's equivalent would be there. It's like a cheap. It's a brand, Panda Pops. They do loads of flavors, but they're little tiny bottles and they're cheap as fuck. Like kids drink them.
Yeah.
And they do like a jelly and ice cream flavor, which I suppose in America would be Jell-O.
Let's see. Because all those things, and used to back in the school sports days, always get like Tip Tops as well.
Yeah.
Little plastic little carton things. And for some reason, those were gorgeous, even though they're cheap crap. Like
they're like 5p or something.
Yeah, for some reason they always hit the spot. I don't know what it was. Maybe just because you were desperate for them because you were not doing sports all day.
You didn't have a big frame of reference either.
Yeah.
You hadn't sampled the finest of champagnes.
Well, that'd be my thing. I'd want to do is like if I were to have enough money to purchase a child for scientific research, it would be to raise that kid only having drunk like Rola Cola and the pound shop stuff, and then around the age of like 17 or 18 to actually give them like Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
And just to see like how much their world opens to be like, what is this? Like this is clearly like 50 billion times better. Or they would be like, what's this crap? This isn't my beloved Rola Cola. Well, come on, man.
I think they'd be scared. I think they'd be terrified. It's a bit like that meme where it's like, let me try and remember the words. It goes, we take it for granted today, but a single Dorito has more extreme nacho flavor than a peasant in the 1400s would get in his whole lifetime.
It's true. It's 100% true. I was listening to a thing like the other day where a guy was talking about like, way back in like the even like the 30s and 40s and stuff, And I could have rung a bell because we were talking about something similar on Batman actually recently, where we have a whole section in Mask of the Phantasm where Bruce and his date go to like the world of the future, and it's like the the World's Fair, and they're just saying like back in the day, people just you didn't have TV, you might have the wireless, and like going to the World's Fair was like your entertainment for the year. Like it was the big event you went to, and there's just like nowadays you just have constant content. Something's jammed into your face every day. Got multiple TV shows you gotta watch. Yeah, everyone's got to keep up with the thing that's happening, etc., etc. Yeah. There's so much content, and they always give it that horrible term of calling it content, jammed into your face. And it's like, back then, it was just like I went to the World's Fair and I got like a toffee apple. And I saw like a car that might be available in 20 years' time. It was amazing. Like that. And that's all you just talk about that for the next couple of months. I'll be like, what else did you do? Oh, nothing. Just sat in the rocket chair looking out the window.
I really like that though. I appreciate it. It's quite quaint. It's cute.
Yeah. In many ways, I wouldn't. Maybe because you're always raised a certain way. But like, I recall back when seeing a film kind of meant something. Like It wasn't as if it just had this endless stream of stuff online. We just like, you had to go and rent a thing, and it was a big event, and
Oh yeah, that was like a special occasion where my parents would be like, "We'll get a pizza and you can get a movie." It's like, what, a movie?
I was just thinking, my parents was like every Saturday night, just like, well, we'll go down to the video shop and get something. He was like, what are you gonna get this week? Like, who knows? Who knows? You used to always know. They look at the magazines to see what was coming out and stuff. Yeah, and it was a big deal. And then one time I was like, this movie Miami Connection.
I'll be honest, 99% of the time, I had no idea what the movies were. I just went off the box.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what they were before I went into that video shop. I'd just be like, this looks cool. And it would usually be.
Yeah, there's always be that kind of a thing where like, Aladdin was in the cinemas and then it just wasn't there for like a while. That wasn't present in your life, and then all of a sudden,
like 2 years,
and then you go to the video shop and you see the poster up for Aladdin. You're like, what? You got it? You just take it home now? What?
Wow.
But anyway,
yes, Americans will be wondering why we spent 15 minutes talking about Pepsi and then renting movies.
Well, just say that not jump ahead too far in the minute, but like, I'm wondering why K. Kim was just like, I could be. You could set me on fire. It wouldn't bother me whatsoever. Pepsi, I understand. You're looking for a new spokesperson. It's between me and Cheyenne, and I think we all know who's going to be the long-lasting superstar. So,
I mean, he's not wrong. We are back here with 10 million weeks of Taekwondo.
This I did not anticipate it being this long, because even most of this minute is still the Taekwondo.
Yeah, I feel like we're doing a challenge at this point, like a TikTok challenge.
I think we're safely out the end of it here. Like, I think we're at least until like the next big fight scene. But it's
there are a couple of interesting bits though, like the very start. Like Mark tries and fails to pick up the knife from the floor. Why did they leave in a shot of him fumbling with it? Just do it again. He drops the fucking knife.
He fumbles because he's humbles.
Oh,
it's to show that he's not. But he might seem like he's perfect to the common eye, but he deliberately fumbled that. That's just to give him a bit of like, no, I too can make mistakes.
Just to make John feel better.
Yeah. Although the thing is like, the way John comes in, he does like a little bow, and I think it feels for a moment as if he thought this was like the end handshake or something, and then he's just realizing, oh Christ, he's handing me a knife. Like, there's more to this.
He stabs him with it. Oh Christ.
He's full on doing like a little, okay, that's a good game. Good. Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay. I forgot there was more.
You want more stabby stab? Okay, let's fucking go. Let's go. Well, in fact, he does go, doesn't he? He starts swinging wildly before he's anywhere near Mark.
He goes for another Streets of Rage sort of, like what do you call them? The sort of the NPC.
Yeah, NPCs.
Yeah, that kind of like stock motion they always have to make. And the one's just designed to do this same thing over and over. So him swinging this knife forward, I can imagine. It's some general thug from, if not Streets of Rage, a game, just exactly like that. Almost makes you wonder as if Mark just taught them through video games or something. As a very base level of like, all right, so This is what you idiots will understand. Okay.
Yeah, well, let's sit and play Streets of Rage for 6 weeks. That's how your training begins.
And like, can we play, the columns? No, you can't play columns.
That won't teach you anything about Taekwondo.
Plus, it's just a ripoff of Tetris. It's like the Pepsi, the Cokes.
Well, this is gonna make perfect sense to you. As someone who said they like Pepsi, I like columns more than Tetris.
See, I only played columns when I was a kid because that was the thing. I had the Sega Mega Drive, and so that was the game that I had. And so it was only years later that I was aware that it was a ripoff of Tetris, and it was just a thing too of like, I don't know, gotta. It has a hold on me. It has such a kind of weird ambiance about its soundtrack, and it's a very sort of like once you're in the columns world, you just feel as if it sucked you in your entire soul. So.
Plus I find the game simpler, and I don't mean that makes it easier. I just mean the concept behind it, because there's no shapes. It's just the 3 color blocks.
Yeah,
and you rearrange them
in the
simple.
column.
I can get my head around that faster than moving shapes around.
Yeah.
But it's still very hard.
I thought any listeners who were born after like 1995 are just going to be columns. What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, go get a Mega Drive Classic like me, idiots.
Oh, is it available on the Mega Drive Classic?
Oh, you better fucking believe it. Plus, you can hack it. I've got a PlayStation Classic. You can just hack it and put stuff on, but don't tell anyone I said that. Let's edit this out. No, I'm not going to really.
Yeah, I'm just going to set up on my YouTube. I just want to put on the column soundtrack. Not while we're recording, but afterward, just so I remember to do it.
I'll enter a little snippet of it here as well. For the listeners, here you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think they only had the one song, didn't it? So
that's a good question. I don't even remember. I remember the same ones on loop, but that was back in the day when you just played the same levels for 8 months straight.
The entire soundtrack, 9 minutes long. So yeah.
There you go. But there's the knife swinging as well. It's a more modern game, but it's Call of Duty for me again, because if I'm ever playing a mode, or I'm just using my knife, but there are modes like party modes where the rules are just fun. And some of them are you just have knives, a bit like GoldenEye back in the day, just slaps.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Maybe I have no depth perception or something. Maybe I'm blind in one eye and I didn't realize it. I just start swinging that fucking thing before I'm anywhere near anyone. I go, ah! And I die almost every time.
It feels like a thing that's supposed to be done with like a machete or something. Like,
yeah.
Coming at someone with a little knife like that, it seems like you're going. But again, at the same time, I guess if someone was swinging, even if they're a few feet away from me, if they're swinging a little knife at that, you're like, well, it could nick me, I guess. So
exactly, yeah.
And then now, of course, I know what to do, which is Mark's. The thing is, I know what to do. I don't know if I could do it, to be fair. But it's like goes down and then sort of scissors John, like knocks him in the crotch and then takes him to the floor. It seemed as if he was going to go for a general trip. But no, it was a little last minute flourish. I was like, no, it's actually a little scissor technique.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for like in wrestling, a leg sweep kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's like scissors. As you say, it's like a leg scissors takedown.
Yeah, it's a proper scissor me timbers. And John goes timber appropriately enough. So
for my wrestling fans, scissor me, daddy ass. Now you'll have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll be join a different group to all those people wondering what the hell we're talking about with columns, I guess.
Oh, you got to scissor me, daddy ass. Come on. Yep. But I think this is such a cool move. Like I've seen this in combat sports and things before, but I don't know. He pulls it off so smoothly. Very good. And then he adds that cherry on top with those little lightning fast face kicks. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, that's right. Dead. That's right. It's although you'd say like he pulls it off so smoothly, but it's also like it's way slowed down. Like it's
oh yeah, again, evidence. It's a demonstration.
Yeah,
in real life, you go faster.
I guess it's just a demonstration for these guys. Just like, oh, you two losers who don't know what they're doing. I guess this is just to show you how I would defeat you if I were, in fact, to unleash full Mark Fury upon you.
It's to keep them terrified.
Yeah, it's like, how many ways I can kill you if I want to. No matter what you do. Like, I've already got a thing lined up against it.
Mark establishing his dominance over the group. Yes.
Of course, 100%. And then, we get little face kicks, and then the pièce de résistance.
Well, before you say that, I have to just point out to the listeners, those face kicks aren't real face kicks, so you're not drinking yet.
Oh, okay.
They're not connecting. They're the little fake kicks.
It's not quite the E Honda Chun-Li kick of yester minute.
Oh, it's close though, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I'm assuming there was a little motion though where he has to okay, I gotta get things lined up here appropriately. The camera itself slows down for us to show the Grandmaster Kim signature move.
The glorious moment has arrived. Prepare yourselves, gird your loins.
Because he's got John's nose in his toes.
What?
And I don't know if he's just because it looks as if John's in pain when he's doing it.
I think he's bemused. I don't think this is planned. I think he's like, oh my God.
But I wonder if it's so not only is he got the proboscis between the digits there, but I wonder if he somehow got such control over his feet that he's actually squeezing the nose as well.
Oh, I 100% think he's doing that. I think it's to show how muscular his feet are.
They're like talons, this guy.
Yeah, he can crush your skull with his feet.
Because it's impressive enough to just land the maneuver, to just get there without taking out an eye or something, jamming your toe into somebody's eyeball. But then you had to actually be able to flex and have the strength of keeping a nose under guard.
Yeah.
And and he seems like he's raising John's head for him. It's that, we make fun. It's very impressive, to be fair.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's crazy. It's out there. I've never seen anything like it. But it's also whoa, who else can do that?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And also, that means, right, that's a special on the drinking game.
Oh.
You've got to take a very confused swig whenever he does this move.
I thought you had to get out General Duff's Private Reserve or something. Oh. That's how special a drink it is.
Oh, listeners, if you are keeping a bottle for a special occasion, this is that occasion. Crack it open. You were saving that for your kid's graduation? Fuck them.
And they go and see it. It's why is the champagne flat? And he's like, well, at Miami Venice, they got the toe nose. So,
fair enough, yes.
It's you cracked it open for Taekwondo? Well, yeah, you're damn right we did, yeah.
I mean, you've named the episode right there, Taekwondo. I mean, that's it. There's no point even coming up with anything else.
But even seeing it at the end, though, yeah, 100%, because it does go in the slow motion as if the camera's get this.
Look how awesome this fucking is.
But when he releases John, it does have a kind of thing of you can see kind of it's pulling. He's pulling back, he actually does have a proper grip on his nose. So
yeah,
that's all right, fair play, Grandmaster Kim.
I certainly couldn't pull it off.
Oh yeah, a million percent. And then you think that would be the end, but they get back up, and then I guess that the finishing move has to be Mark going okay, so if you just have to flat out kill a guy, this is what you're gonna do. And someone comes in with a grand old, just a classic non-computer game based, just downward stabbing motion where they're gonna stab you in the back.
Yeah, this one actually looks quite practical.
Yeah. Out of all the moves he's taught them, it's well, this is one that someone could actually use, I guess.
But then he goes actually, you know what? No, first, hang on. After the toe thing, he kicks him in the face proper. Have a swig again. Right. Okay, that's that done. So then, yeah, he goes crazy far by not only showing you how to deal with this attacker, but he doesn't disarm them. He shows you how to murder a man.
Yeah.
He stabs him with the knife.
It's very much just okay, so if you take nothing else away from this lesson, it is here's how to stop a fight with a knife assailant. Like, if you can't be bothered with everything else, here's a fairly simple move. It's just like grabbing it, reversing it, thrust it into their gut. And that's going to be the trick. It definitely would. But it's so brutal at the end where it's just like, it's again as if Mark wants to leave the lingering thing of like, just so you know.
I could stab you, you piece of shit.
That toe thing was like a little sugar just to sweeten the blow of like, I could kill you if I wanted to. Like,
I'm not gonna, but I could.
Yeah. Just saying, like, the motion here is stabbing someone in the back. This is how you take care of that. If you were to ever stab me in the back, and I mean that both literally and emotionally, I will destroy you. And because friendship is the most important thing of all time.
He just wants to plant in their head, the implication.
It is. It's 100%. I would never stab my friends. Why would I ever stab my friends? But they think that I might.
I think this is a life lesson. Everyone, always keep your friends on their toes.
Instead of all your friends on your toes when you have it wrapped around their noses, I guess.
Always keep your friends on your toes. Yes.
Yeah. And so instead of the implication, it's the demonstration. It's just like, I was like, I would never, crack someone's skull open, but they think that I might because of the demonstration.
Exactly. They're thinking about it at all fucking times.
Yeah. Although, again, we're kind of hopping around all over the minute anyway, but we do come, of course, later on to the line of like, well, what about working some board breaking into the act? Which is also making me think, like, is this band rehearsals? is that, maybe it's nothing to even do with self-defense. It's just like, no, this is what they do on stage. Like, in the corner, Angelo is just, like, tuning up and stuff. And like,
he just starts shredding guitar while they're doing these moves.
Or maybe, like, Jane's on the keyboard. Like, it's diegetic music where she's just sitting beside them going,
hell yes. That would be the only thing to make this seem better.
Of course, it wouldn't be Jane on the keyboard. It would be Jim. He is, of course, and nothing else. I do remember who is who in the band in terms of their positions.
So we've got Jim, Jane, John. Fucking hell.
Jim, Jane, John, Mark, and Joe. And Joe, no, not Joe. Angelo, who is Mike. He's Angelo.
Mike and Angelo. Remember that show? Did you ever watch that as a kid?
Oh, yeah, I did. I think that was where I learned the name Michelangelo. Hey, from figuring out, like, oh, it's a joke. It's based on some artist from way back when.
When my older sister said, it's meant to sound like Michelangelo. I was like, no, it's not. You're stupid. It's Mike and Angelo. Shut up.
And it seems the entire show based around, like, get this. You can kind of separate it into two names, right? There you go. That's the thing. Like, yeah, so what's the show about? Well, the show's about like a guy.
I remember there was like a guy living on the roof. Like
he was an alien, wasn't he? He was Angelo was, I think he might have been an angel. Because Angelo, it would make sense if he was.
That sounds about right. And wasn't he like upside down because he was on the ceiling?
Yeah, I have a feeling it was kind of like vaguely like a Third Rock from the Sun scenario.
Yeah.
But it was, he was just the one alien. But it might not be, unless you're supposed to see, like, subtextually, he was an angel or something. But
maybe.
Let's see. It discovers a mysterious wardrobe. It bursts open, containing Angelo, an alien from another world.
Yay.
Yeah, has no knowledge of life on Earth, etc., etc. And yeah, just seeing, like, looking at the little, on Wikipedia, the little picture they have next to it, it's like, oh, I remember those opening credits. Two of them juggling and stuff, yeah.
It's all come flooding back.
Yeah. They go in the columns, Mike and Angelo. Like, what's next on the agenda here to alienate the audience, particularly the American audience?
Was Mike, did they have that in America? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long.
I didn't remember this, but apparently, according to the Wikipedia, the kid was American. Like, he moved to London.
There you go.
So he's an American family moving to London. So, man, but there might have been crossover appeals. Like, look, he's got a kooky sounding alien friend. It's like, he's just English.
Yeah, he wasn't alien at all. We all live on the ceiling. Don't you know that, Americans? We live upside down to you.
Well, it should have at least been from Australia. Come on, finish the joke if you're going to do it.
Yeah, an Aussie actor. That'd be perfect.
Must be Mike and Angelo.
Angelo. And he's played Knifey Spoony before. But after murdering his best friend here, there's a bow, a handshake. It's all over. Mm-hmm. But Good then game. We do get a little glimpse of what you said there, breaking the boards.
Yeah.
With awesome kicks. I got to say, there's some pretty cool fucking kicks.
It should have been, I hope in the local paper, it like when YK Kim announced he was going into acting, it says like from breaking the boards to treading the boards. Oh. It's clearly the headline. But I don't know if this happened with you, John, but I randomly paused as we came upon this bit.
Yeah.
And at like second 45, it's great because there's like, for a split second, there's like, it goes, you capture the transition.
Oh, that weird ass transition. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, but then it looks like Multiverse of Miami. Like it looks as if there's like 7 guys on screen because it's fading between. So you get like, 2 Joe Diamonds and 2 YK Kims and 2 Johns and stuff. And
like, be still my heart.
And it looks, because the boards are gone, but John's still doing the pose. It looks as if he's doing a Hadoken because he's standing with his arms like he's holding the board, but there's no board in there. And then it cuts to beside him is Jack Diamond, and he's holding up the board, and he's not got a good grip on it, but he's got the face of a guy going, "Oh, I hope this doesn't hurt my hands." Like it's. But yeah, so people can do it. I would highly recommend. And maybe try to make it the image for the episode, but if you can time it exactly to get that little transition moment.
I will try my very best. If you notice that this episode has a different image, I have failed.
But yeah, and they are. I think about this might be like the save face for the other 2 guys a little bit, because they're like, oh, look, they can do stuff. Like
they're not useless.
They are, in fact, breaking these boards and stuff. I can't do.
It's impressive, isn't it? I do think it's cool. And then we get that weird random slow-mo. That's back again. Which I don't actually blame them for, to be perfectly honest, because, like, what's the way I'm going to word this? I don't blame him for it because it looks so cool. So this is the right moment to do the slow-mo.
Yeah.
Other times it has been a bit peculiar.
Yeah. I think if you got, there's no crime with slow-mo. It's just use it when the time is right. Only ever crack it. Don't go Zack Snyder with it. Like, crack it out for special occasions. A toe hold.
Exactly.
That's a slow-mo moment. And then, we're coming up again in this minute, the brick thing that Mark does is like, that's a slow-mo motion. That's not slow-mo motion, a slow-mo moment. So
slow-mo motion. I like that. But actually, before the brick thing, there was one thing I did notice that I quite liked. It's, I'm trying to remember his fucking name. It's Jack. Jack. He looks shit scared as that second kick comes in. He's like bracing for impact. Look at him. He's like,
yeah. Because maybe if it was YK Kim doing it, he would have complete faith. But the fact that it's John doing it, he's just like, well, I did just see him get like humiliated by Mark there. Like it was. The guy's probably still dizzy from having toes in his face. So
that messes you up big time.
Yeah. So I don't. I would just gone maybe like face the other way, like instead of the camera being able to see you. That's what you look like. But whatever.
Although, as you say, then it's the bricks, because Mark, he just has to up the ante, right, and one up everyone. He has to be cooler and tougher. Like, you broke some boards. I'm gonna break some motherfucking bricks.
So that's the thing. So this was the thing I think he definitely needed the slow motion for, because I was a bit like, is it one big brick or is it several bricks together that he's just knocking over? Because when he splits it seems to go into like perfect blocks.
Yeah, I think it's 2 bricks, but you're right, it's very perfect. I'm wondering, was it all pre-broken?
Could this be the whole thing of martial arts people breaking bricks? Is like, it's all magicianship bullcrap. Like, this is, you're waiting for the masked Taekwondo man to come out to be like, oh, here's how it's actually done.
I bet that is part of it.
Yeah, so it seems as if someone went in there with like a hacksaw. Well, it was like, all right, just, you don't break the hole, you don't saw all the way through, but you do, like, so that it would be very easy for that to, because once it comes apart, I would have assumed that maybe it would be cut in two, but it seems to be cut into, because Jack's got one on his head, and then another one, like, stood upright. So he's kind of got, like, a brick protecting his head, as well as the... Also, why you gotta do it on top of the guy's head? Like, what purpose is that? Is that better somehow?
It looks cool.
Like, it's got a kind of William Tell quality to it, I guess. Yeah. But, like, it's also a bit like, well... Or again, another intimidation thing of like, well, if I wanted to, I could, like, look how close I am to friggin' cracking your head into 4 pieces.
I can kill you right now.
Yeah, your eyeball's gonna be all these goddamn friggin' this grass in like 5 seconds. We've really
discovered a lot about Mark's character, haven't we?
Yeah. So again, another freeze frame I recommend. So 50 seconds. Just look at that brick going apart. It just looks so pristine.
Yeah, there's something odd about that. Which, again, I can maybe forgive being a movie, because maybe like they were going to do 5 million takes. So they're like, well, we can't just keep breaking bricks.
It's just, it breaks into 4 pieces as well. It's just like, the top 2, I could be maybe already as the top, and then the top fell into 2 pieces.
Yeah.
But then the bottom 2... barring the one that Jack's got balanced, still like intact on his head. The bottom 2 pieces really look as if they've been just like sawed in half, and he's just knocking them over, basically. So,
I suspect that is what he's doing.
So now we've gone from nothing but praise for YK and the Taekwontoe. To been like, I think he's a friggin' this all shadow and mirrors, man. He's all
a fraud.
This is just bull plop, grade A bull plop. This thing.
Nah, I'll defend it. It's a movie. How many bricks are you going to break? What if this is take 30?
I expect YK Kim to be a one-take wonder, quite frankly. Like, the delivery of so many lines from so many actors in this film indicates that they're a one-take. But unless they shot this first and they burned up all the like celluloid they had trying to get brick shots, and they're like, okay, we only have enough to do 1 take for every single scene. So please nobody screw up.
That's why the original director left.
Yeah, he took most of them with him too.
Yep.
Then when he got back to Korea, he opened up the thing. It's like, oh no, it's all the brick footage. Damn it. But yeah, I do love then though the very abrupt cut, because it's like full on like, the people, the powerful, powerful athleticism, doing things that that no normal human could do, like breaking a brick into 4 perfect pieces. All this kind of stuff. The thing is making sure that you have to be like, some sort of Adonis to do these moves. And then the hard cut to them all slouching around the table, slugging down Pepsi, and just went, that went well, I think. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I don't blame him. Yet again, cool down after an afternoon of ass kicking with a nice Pepsi. I can get behind it.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm appreciative that Mark is not so much of a taskmaster that he would say no to like sugary drinks and stuff. I think
only
he might be
water.
Only water, or like, maybe I'll give you like a tea or something like that, like some sort of, or even like if you want to go in, like, no, you need like a protein drink or some kind of bull crap that's like, it's you're exercising, you have to monastically sort of deprive yourself of all these pleasures because it's all about discipline, etc., etc. But he seems to be like, no, we're having a nice lunch. There's probably potato chips there.
Yeah.
He's probably, crisps. We'll see over here. I went to an automatic American translation for people there.
I find myself doing that on podcasts.
Yeah. I can imagine they probably got like pastrami sandwiches and just like sitting around and just wolfing down something. They're like, no, you worked out. You'll burn it off later, so don't worry about it.
It's very much how I imagine people the age of these characters to eat after they've done their martial arts. Like, okay, maybe not the actors, but they're clear, they're college kids. It's what they're doing. They'll have some Pepsi, they'll have some chips,
Yeah, definitely. Although, again, Mark's like 40, 45, but
the character clearly isn't.
No, I think the character is clearly, but again, I guess he wants to go under deep cover, so he's like, well, yes, of course. He's drinking this down like, it's burning my tongue. It's like, it's the fizziness. Mark, you've drank Pepsi before. Oh, yes, of course I have.
Of course I have, fellow kids.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go down and see the proctologist, like we all do once you reach a certain age, right?
Yeah, he's sorting out his pension.
Like every time they see one of those like after 50 ads on the TV, and they see Mark going, ooh, like, I'll just be responsible, I know I've got 30 full years to wait until I reach this age, but
it can't hurt to plan ahead.
Exactly. And then, so yeah, we just get we covered a lot of Pepsi material there earlier in the episode.
Yeah, we did. Did I get anything else? I don't know if I did. Oh, well, there is something I didn't notice. It's not Pepsi related. They're dirty ass feet. Which I think, that's what practicing on the grass will do to you, but rinse those things off.
No. Unless he's supposed to be, no, it builds up the callus on your feet. Your feet have to be hard and strong.
I mean, that is actually a thing. You do want to do that, but this is just mud and probably dog shit.
Well, it might be one of those things, though, because, like, where did they leave their shoes? Like, they could be like, well, if we clean them off now, we have to walk back across the grass anyway to get the shoes, so.
True.
This always reminds me of a long lost bit of video footage of me that our friend Gary, he's just kicking. He had it and he lost it, and he's just like, it's one of the biggest regrets of his life is that he lost the footage of. We were doing like a road trip around different camping sites in Europe, and I think somewhere in like Dusseldorf or something like that. We stopped at a place, and I went to go to the shower, and I had taken off my shoes and socks. Yeah, and I was like, I'll just walk across the grass, not realizing that there was hot gravel between the end of the grass and the shower, and then there was this good 5-minute video of them like way back, zoomed in at the campsite, pissed. You can just hear them pissing themselves laughing, and the camera's shaking around, and it's just me like slowly walking across these stones because they're like, this is sharp. It was very, very painful.
I can imagine. Fuck.
Yeah, really kicking myself knowing I'd have to do it again on the way back. But they're just howling and laughing, and they watched that video like every night for weeks. And then Gary somehow lost it, and he's just like, I can't believe
somehow you deleted it.
No, I never did. I wish I was shrewd enough to do that, but yeah, John does come up with the suggestion of like, how about introducing some board breaking to the act?
Yeah, I think not only is that not a bad idea, but he's clearly coming up with it because it's the one chance for him to excel. It's the one thing you've seen him do successfully in this sequence.
Well, it's the worst because Angela's guitar, and singing, and Jane's singing, and Jim's keyboards. John or Jack is not Joe or Jack is the drum. Joe, right? He's the drums, and then John's like, I guess he's like, is he bass? I'm guessing he's bass, right?
John is bass. Yeah.
Well, so bass actually is a fairly integral part of the band, though. So fair enough, he is doing something up there. He's not like Mark, who is just like not plugged in guitar.
Mark's the rhythm guitarist, Niall. Get it right.
He's got rhythm, but he ain't got the guitar.
He's holding one. That's close enough.
Maybe they want to get rid of that. So John's suggestion is like, the board. We don't have many boards. Maybe you could break your guitar on stage. We could all pulverize it. So then maybe you don't pretend you're a musician up on stage, and we can.
Although you mentioning that actually does remind me of one thing I researched. I thought I'd look into the boards a little bit, and there wasn't a lot of interesting information on it.
You find out that's all a freaking con, and all those boards are just like breakaway boards that anyone can break, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, you're not far wrong. They do have proper wooden ones in that, but they are very thin, which is part of the point. You don't want to injure yourself, But I did find that these days, at least, there are reusable boards.
Ooh.
They can be put back together and rebroken over and over. Which I actually think is a great idea. They don't look as satisfying to smash, though. I'm not going to lie, because they just kind of they break in the same place every time, just boom.
Yeah, you don't want to. But they say that the breaking boards on stage bit, there's potential for splinters and stuff there to just be flying out into the audience, man. I don't know if that's exactly safe to be doing that, but...
That's true. That's true. But then again, as I always bring up every fucking episode, I watch wrestling, and I watched GCW, and they hit each other with, glass tubes.
That might be like sugar glass or something.
No, they're real. And that glass goes every fucking way, and you're like, that's going a bit close to people.
Yeah. So we get the beginning of Mark's response of like, sure. It could be like next minute's like, sure, if you want to get us fucking sued, but you're stupid. Of course we're not breaking boards on stage, you asshole.
But maybe they could take up the same mantra as GCW, where the announcer always says, if the action looks like it's coming your way, it is. So grab your shit and move. They could say that to the audience. Dragon sound.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I was hoping they do have a board budget, because it's like, well, how much are these things costing us? Like, particularly too if it has to be specialty boards you buy, like
exactly.
And you're on a college student, income. I guess maybe they're paid something for being Dragon Sound, like.
Yeah, but how much really are they getting? I mean, then again, this was the 80s where bands made a living, not like now, where nobody makes money from music anymore.
No. It's like I know one guy who makes a living in a wedding band. And
that's the only way to do it, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, how do you do that? It's like, you have to play every day of the week. Like, that's how you make a living doing that.
Jesus Christ.
And you have to just cart around. I guess like any musician, but like you just cart around all over the country and then play every day of the week. And then it's all the same crap, every playing the same songs you might not even like. And you just have to keep doing it. It's just a job.
Yeah. I think anyone would get sick of their own work after that much time as well. Like even if it was his own work, but I imagine he's doing covers.
Oh yeah, wedding band, yeah, definitely. It'd be all like "Dance the Night Away" by the Mavericks and all that kind of crap. Like there's set things that people expect out of a wedding band.
And he might have loved those songs before, and I bet he doesn't now.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. He's just like, all right, I'll play, friggin' Mr. Brightside or whatever.
Fucking hell. Some kids on the bus were singing that earlier. I was like, oh. Kids were singing it. Like, what's happened to music? That's like surely their parents' music now.
It's like singing, like back in the day, like us singing like the Top of the Pops theme. Where somebody's like, no, but that's Led Zeppelin, man. Like that's from a lifetime ago.
Shut up, old man.
Those was the thing you're saying about the breakaway boards, though. Like, I was just trying to remember, isn't there a whole joke in an episode of The Young Ones where they set up that there's a breakaway chair?
Yeah.
And then like someone like clatters it over Rick, and then and he just lies slumped on the floor for like ages.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh no, that wasn't the breakaway one. It was just an actual chair to smash over.
I love that because it's incorporating as well a lot of the original act that Rick and Age used to do was the Dangerous Brothers. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
And it's like venturing into that territory. Basically, listeners, it was like the Young Ones, but how do I word it? Their characters were sort of proto-Jackass. Like they weren't really doing stunts, but sometimes they were. They were a bit extreme. Sometimes they were, but usually it was like fake stunts that would go wrong. Like they'd accidentally burst into flames.
But yeah, this reminded me of that. And that's my last note for minute 40. That's I'm noted that from here.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. There wasn't much of note in the commentary or anything like that. So I am, unfortunately, all noted out. All I can say is what a privilege it was to talk about Taekwondo.
It's born into the world now. We can't get rid of it.
In fact, you know what? I'm breaking the rules of the drinking game. Have another fucking drink. Just to toast Taekwondo.
A toast to toe.
Woo! Toast that toe, motherfucker. I always used to freak people out with the Christmas song. Christmas time, mistletoe and wine. I'd always change the lyrics to like dip your toe in wine and things like this. But people are like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, you put your toe in the wine.
Yeah. It's like, is that not a tradition for Christmas where you come from?
I'd play it totally straight. Like, yeah, you put your toe in the wine. That's what you do.
Totally straight, eh?
Fucking hell, I missed that one.
well, I'm going to go off now, and I've been eyeing up this Columns music the entire time, so I was like, can't wait to get to it.
Well, Niall's going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it. Why don't you go and listen to it with another drink and some... stretch your toes. Get your toes ready. Limber those toes. Maybe use them in the bedroom. I don't know. Maybe after listening to this, you're like, I'm gonna do something special with these toes. We're not going to shame anybody.
Getting people getting their partners' noses stuck on their toes. Like, you like that, do you?
I got this tip from that podcast I like. And the wife will be like, can you please stop listening to that show?
YK Kim landed on the doorstep. You steal my move. That's how I won my wife. What are you doing, man?
It's his sex thing. Yeah, if you want to do that in the bedroom, all power to you. Yeah, all power to you. If you want to be breaking bricks over your partner's head, do it. Safely with consent.
Yeah.
And with consent, we would like to see you back here in 1 week's time, because we will have more Miami Minutes and minute 41. In the meantime, if you want to speak to us on Facebook, we're at the Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. We're on Twitter at Miami Minutes. Instagram. Can you guess what Instagram is? Can you? It's Miami Minutes. And we are also on, let me think, TeePublic. Go to TeePublic. Sleepy Charlie Media is our network, and you can buy merchandise. Exciting, wonderful merchandise, like a mug that says, only through the elimination of violence can we achieve world peace. Or you can get it on a cushion or on a tapestry. You can get it, well, it says tapestry. It's not really. It's a bit of a deceptive name, that. It's not like the Bayou tapestry. So. But buy all of that, buy everything, buy one of everything, or you're not allowed to listen again. And once you've done that, you will unlock minute 41 in 1 week's time. So see you then, Taekwondo family.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Pepsi.
Listen to me.